Hi, loves. Medium Michaela Martin back with the Ananda family on this January 2nd, 2025. The first teaching of 2025 for all of you brothers and sisters of the collective. We hope all is well with you, loves, in the peace, love, light, oneness, and truth that we send to you and we share with you as we are one, loves. And we hope everyone had a beautiful new year and had a beautiful time with family and friends, if possible. We thank you guys for sticking around with us into 2025 and beyond. As we promised, we will only be on here when there is an important teaching to be given from Sananda Yeshua and our Ananda family. To the brothers and sisters that are our students and that are ready and willing to receive it. And as we had talked about in the last video as a family, we today are going to talk about the true story of the Garden of Eden, because many brothers and sisters think the Garden of Eden is a real thing and it's tradition to perceive that way. So, Sananda Yeshua wanted me to step aside so he can do his thing for all of you, loves, and explain the truth behind this. And again, to all of you brothers and sisters that are Christian or Muslim or Hindu or anything like that, do not get mad at me, meaning Michaela Martin. Get mad at Yeshua, the Christ. I'm only the voice. I know not what he's going to say or do. Take what resonates, loves, and leave the rest. Go within, go within, go within. To Father, Mother, Adonai, Abun, consciousness, for clarity on the truth. As this has been widely speculated for many centuries in time and space of duality. And these teachings will only be given when there is an important time and quiet time for us as a family to do the teachings, because I personally, meaning Michaela Martin, have been going through a lot in my environment. So in order for me to let our family do their thing properly for all of you, it has to be a quiet environment and space. And if you guys do not like what is being said from Sananda Yeshua and our Ananda family, please feel free and find another YouTube channel. You can also go to our community tab, which if you go to the YouTube channel, Christ Phoenix Running Academy here, and you scroll to the right, you will see the word community. And when we cannot do a video teaching, it will be written out for you, loves, there. Many of you brothers and sisters were saying, how can I find the community page? Scroll all the way to the right, and at the top of the YouTube channel, you will see the official YouTube community page tab. Click on that, and when we upload a post, it will be posted for you there, loves. Okay? And please feel free to share us with open-minded and open-hearted brothers and sisters as well that are ready and willing to receive it, as we wish you a peaceful, happy, prosperous new year filled with love, health, and prosperity. That being said, I will now turn everything over to Sananda Yeshua, as we are already grounded as a family. We ask you, Father, Mother, Adonai, Creator, to shield your perfect sons and daughters in your diamond white light of protection, light and love and oneness, healing and truth at this time. As any and all darkness, Father, Mother, must be dealt with by you, across all times, spaces, places, dimensions, ultra realities, and parallel universes, times 1,000, in the name of Yeshua the Christ. And so it is done. As I use the violet flame of you, Creator, and Saint Germain to cleanse and purify the body, mind, and spirit of any negative thoughts, feelings, emotions, perceptions, and opinions that may interfere with the teaching of Sananda Yeshua. As I allow my vessel to become clear, clean, and open, with light and love only. As I hand it over to you, Father, Mother, Adonai, to be transcended and transmuted in the violent flame of Saint Germain. And so it is. As I go the ego, filter, and bias as well. And so it is. Allowing my being to become a clear, open channel for you, Sananda Yeshua, with only the purest intention of truth, light, and love being given. And so it is. I ask you, Brother Uriel, to please calm the background noise yet again, so brothers and sisters only hear the truth and light and love being given at this time. In the name of Yeshua the Christ, it is done. I also ask for you, Brother Zatiel, to place a multi-layer, multi-dimensional protective shield of light and of love and of peace and power around any and all technologies that we, as the Ananda family, may use and brothers and sisters may use as a collective, as we do not consent to any unauthorized tapping into. And so it is done. In the name of Sananda Yeshua the Christ. And remember, loves, only take what resonates and leave the rest. Do not get mad at me, meaning Michaela Martin. If you do not like what is being said, please feel free and leave. Okay? We send you peace, light, and love on your spiritual journey of awakening. And we thank all of you for being with us, sticking around into 2025 and beyond. And only share us with open-minded and open-hearted brothers and sisters in the collective. And remember, we love you all. And indeed, once again, greetings unto you, precious, beloved, holy children of light divine, child of God, the infinite source of love that is truly what you are, as indeed I am. For indeed I am your beloved brother and friend and equal, the one you've known simply throughout time and space and millennia as Sananda Yeshua the Christ. I indeed come not from myself, but indeed for you, beloved friends. For in truth I love you. And indeed the Holy Child is but one, in the one heart of Christ that is indeed shared by all beloved friends. It is with great joy and humbleness that we speak yet again where one perceives oneself to be. Through this, my beloved, the one conduit of one Sananda Yeshua the Christ, of compassion, tenderness, and mercy for all, dear one, as more truth is yet being unveiled to you, beloveds. We have asked our beloved to allow us to step forward yet again to give unto you the truth with a capital T of the meaning and understanding of the Garden of Eden, dear ones, that has been written about in your Holy Scriptures, dear ones. For this is not a physical place in your world of duality, but a place of the spirit, of the soul, oneness, of creation, dear one. It is indeed a place of peace, a place of oneness, a place of freedom, power, strength, and grace, dear ones. Does that make sense for you? And indeed, in your biblical text, it states Adam and Eve went into the Garden of Eden to eat from the tree of life. Does that make sense for you, dear one? But indeed, Adam and Eve are not real people. Let us say this again, dear one. They are not people of your physicality, dear one. The story of your Garden of Eden and your Adam and Eve and your Cain and Abel are simply nothing more than parables, dear one, to illustrate the power of humanity's consciousness and one's perception of darkness. Does that make sense for you? The Garden of Eden, dear one, is to symbolize the power of unity and where we were in the beginning, before the dark ones created, should we say, the fall from grace in your world of duality 26,000 years ago in your time and space of perception, dear one, during the fall of Atlantis, dear one. Atlantis, beloved brothers and sisters of light, was indeed the Garden of Eden, or the place of paradise, dear one, for indeed it was a symbol of peace, unity, equality, divinity, sovereignty, beauty, grace, power, joy, hope, freedom, strength, and love. Does that make sense for you, beloveds? It was only in your 26,000 years, dear one, that your world has created darkness from love. Does that make sense for you, dear one? Based upon one's perceptions and your fears, dear one, intensifying what our beloved would say, the DRs, or the bad guys, as we will indeed put it, beloveds. Does that make sense for you? In your Garden of Eden story, it is said that your Adam and Eve was told by God not to eat of the tree of life, because if one did so, one would be doomed and therefore cast out of the Garden of Eden, dear one. This was indeed a parable, dear one, to show the power of humanity, the power of creative consciousness. For God never cast out the perfect sons and daughters that is I am, dear one, if one does not eat a certain food, or one perceives or believes a certain way, dear one. All are divinely the sons and daughters of the Father, Mother, our born consciousness, dear friends. But in your Garden of Eden story, it is said that your beloved Adam and Eve was told not to eat from the forbidden fruit. And Eve took a bite of the forbidden fruit and, should we say, was cast out of your Garden of Eden, dear one. That is to bestow fear upon you, dear one. There is indeed no such thing as the real Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden, dear one, is also symbolic of you, dear one. The peace that is I am that is found within you. This is indeed why one Yeshua simply says, go within, go within, go within, to the heart of God that is within you, dear one. Does that make sense for you, beloved friends? These parables in your Garden of Eden and your Adam and Eve story are nothing more than allegories. Or, to use a word of your duality, symbolisms, dear one, to explain to you your power of your collective consciousness and of your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and perceptions of duality, dear one. You are creators of your garden of peace, beloved friends. You are creators of your duality, dear ones. With that one that is I am. That I am presence is the Father, Mother, Abun consciousness, beloveds, within you. Does that make sense for you? The one whom that one cannot be separated forth from. Does that make sense for you, beloveds? Your Garden of Eden serves more as a symbology of your duality and the fall from grace as the bad guys created darkness, intensified by that which is the collective, dear ones. Does that make sense for you? Your Atlantis times, dear one, can be considered as the original Garden of Eden, dear one. Does that make sense for you? But again, beloveds, and please listen carefully, this is not a physical place of duality, but merely a parable, or a, should we say, a way for one to understand the truth of one's power of consciousness and your divine free will choice to either live in peace and harmony with that Father, Mother, Abun consciousness, or live in fear, that is duality, that has become known as your fall from grace, beloved friends. For what is indeed grace, dear one? Love, peace, harmony, hope, power, strength, forgiveness. I am. That is indeed grace, dear one. The divinity of the Father, Mother, Abun consciousness is grace, dear one. That love and light, that what you are, that is I am, is grace, beloveds. So in your Holy Scriptures, when it says, man fell from grace, indeed, one fell from grace, meaning one fell from the truth of love into perceiving from fear and darkness and evil, dear one, in your third density consciousness that you are embodied in now, beloved. You fell from the fifth dimension of love and harmony and peace and oneness with the Father and Mother Abun consciousness into the third density consciousness of fear, darkness, and deception, dear one. That is indeed the meaning and purpose behind the term man's fall from grace, beloveds. Does that make sense for you, beloved ones? For indeed your society, beloveds, has misunderstood one Yeshua's teachings and your teachings of your biblical scriptures for many millennia, dear one. And to use the word of your duality, it is time to unravel the truth once and for all, dear one. Upon to you these parables of truth, as your biblical text is nothing more than a, should we say, gathering a man's perception of, should we say, their understanding of what is true within them. Yes, beloved friends, it is true that one Yeshua's teachings are in there to a small degree with a lowercase t, but most of one Sananda's teachings are manipulated, edited, changed, doctored, erased, and removed because your duality of darkness does not want you to know the truth of one Sananda Yeshua's teaching. Does that make sense for you, dear ones? For your parables that has been given in your Old Testament was nothing more than a symbol of your creative mind. The creative mind of man to choose using one's own divine free will and discernment. The Garden of Eden is found within you. That has been known as paradise. Paradise is I am. Paradise is indeed what all things are. That is perfect unconditional love, dear one. Agape love. That knows no boundaries, nor limitations, nor restrictions. It is all things, dear one. That knows no judgment or, should we say, casting doubt upon others, beloveds. Your world of duality has given you your precious sacred text of your biblical versions that has been doctored, altered, and manipulated and changed for many centuries. Many beloved brothers and sisters perceive that your Garden of Eden is a real place, dear one, in your world of duality and physicality. But assuredly I say unto you, dear one, and please listen carefully, the place of paradise is not a real place, but a spiritual place of oneness, of love, of peace, of harmony, of unity, of divinity, of togetherness between divine masculine and feminine energies, beloved friends. Does that make sense for you? But in your ancient times, your Atlantis could be considered as the original Garden of Eden, beloved friends, or the Garden of Paradise, as everything was originally meant to be love, peace, and harmony for all, dear one, until your bad guys, we will say, created darkness, thereby destroying the harmony upon your Holy Mother, beloved Earth. That which is indeed where your planet is indeed headed, beloved friends. Does that make sense for you? Your inner peace, or your own Garden of Eden, is found within you in the times of your meditation and prayer and inner focus, dear one. Does that make sense for you? This, beloved friends, is why one Sananda Yeshua wanted to bring this teaching onto you, dear one, so that one can understand the truth behind your sacred scriptures and texts with a eyes of reality instead of duality, dear one. With the I am presence that is indeed within you, beloved friends. Does that make sense for you? Ask, and it shall be given unto you, dear ones. For indeed it is truly that simple. Your Garden of Eden begins with you creating from your world of perception love, peace, hope, power, strength, happiness, harmony, equality, divinity, sovereignty, joy, freedom, creating that blissful, peaceful existence that was before time began, dear one, in your world of duality. For your duality was created by fear and deception and perception, dear one. Does that make sense for you? That is indeed how powerful that you are as one, the converted creator of one consciousness that is perfect love always, dear ones. Does that make sense for you? Your Garden of Eden is a symbol of how man's consciousness started in your fifth dimension or love consciousness and went from love consciousness into the fear-based consciousness or the fall from grace, dear one. Does that make sense for you? It is nothing more than a parable or an allegory. Does that make sense for you, beloved? This means, beloved friends, and please listen carefully, there is no real being known as Adam and Eve, or the first female and male known as Adam and Eve. These were beings that were created by the ones that wrote the Bible to, should we say, hide the truth with a capital T. Just as your Cain and Abel story is merely a parable, dear one, of a battle between what is going on in your world of duality. The battle of darkness is solidified in your holy scriptures as the Cain and Abel story. The power of the mind, dear one. All these parables, such as your Adam and Eve, Garden of Eden, and your Cain and Abel, are nothing more than parables to illustrate the power of your mind, beloved friends, and the power of your creative consciousness, and where your world of perception was indeed heading in your world of duality, dear one. Your Cain and Abel, dear one, was put in your holy scriptures to signify chaos upon your planet and destruction, dear one. Does that make sense for you? Rather than peace and harmony, dear one, it was to symbolically show you your outer struggles of your perception versus your inner struggles of your reality, capital R. Does that make sense for you, beloveds? These beings, known as your Cain and Abel and Adam and Eve, are not real, beloved friends, but should we say, to use a word of your duality, fictitious names to hide the truth with a capital T, dear ones. Does that make sense for you? The truth is indeed found within you, beloved friends. So when one is indeed reading your sacred holy scriptures, it is important to go within and ask the Father, Mother, Adonai, of womb consciousness to give unto you the truth so that one may understand it. Be still and know that ye are God, for indeed you are. Be quick to listen and slow to speak, beloved friends. Does that make sense for you? Listen to the inner small voice that is God, that is I am, that is a boon consciousness within you, dear one. Does that make sense for you? For the truth shall yet be unveiled to you, dear one. You are heading back toward the Garden of Eden of your harmony, peace, light, and love. That was originally in your Atlantis time, beloved friends. You, as a collective and individualized souls, dear one, have the power to make the change and the change of fear into light and love a reality for you, beloveds. You are that I am, which is indeed love, dear one. For indeed, I am your beloved brother and friend and equal, the one you've known simply throughout time and space as Sananda Yeshua the Christ. And I come not for myself, but indeed for you. For in truth, I love you, and the Holy Child is but one indeed, dear one. I have come yet again, so that ones may have hope within one's heart, and peace upon your Holy Mother, beloved earth, yet again. For indeed I am the Prince of Peace, as indeed are you, beloved friends. I have come as the bearer of truth, just indeed as you have come. And I have come with my sword of truth to bind all darkness and evil and liberate the pure in heart. And indeed, allow the truth to reign once and for all, beloved, in your world of duality. And so indeed it is. I am Sananda Yeshua, he who is but the Prince of Peace, he who sits on the mercy seat, he who is one with all things, as are you. And so indeed it is, dear ones.